roundtable open. I'll just make some few remarks to set the tone for his opening remarks. The Senate, on Tuesday, the 9th of November 2019, deliberated on a motion which was moved on the floor regarding the Nigerian power problems cum challenges. At the end of the deliberations, Senate resolved to hold this roundtable discussion with the main stakeholders in the power industry, with the sole objective of identifying all the issues militating against adequate and stable power supply in the country and provide working solutions. It will be an outright falsehood to state that the problems bedeviling the power sector in Nigeria are unknown. However, what we may be lacking is the willpower to do what is right. There is no doubting the consequential role electricity plays in the economic development of countries. Nigeria currently holds the unenviable positions of being the second country in the world after India with the highest population without access to electricity. This is unacceptable and should be worrisome to all of us. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our story can be changed by simply adapting contextually valid solutions similar to models that led to the local success stories in the telecom and banking sectors in Nigeria. This can be done by prescribing the development of operational models that support collaborative partnership in the power sector. Mr. President, in concluding my remarks, I would like to state here without fear of contradiction that the challenges in the power sector can be categorized into 5 broad areas, which includes but not limited to institutional, governance, infrastructural, political, legislative, and environmental. Let me therefore briefly explain these areas. Institutional and governance. Most institutions of government saddled with the responsibility of managing the power sector lack the capability, capacity to function effectively. All the institutions of government in the power sector perform core functions that involve one form of oversight or the other. Monitoring and evaluating is a core oversight activity and usually involves the development of performance indicators that drive the process. Ministry of Power, Bureau for Public Enterprises, MBET, and NEC will require different sets of performance indicators to drive their different oversight activities. Sadly, Mr. President, the reality is that most of these institutions do not have any discernible framework for monitoring and evaluation. Infrastructural. There is serious infrastructural deficit in the entire value chain of the power sector. This, more than any other challenge, requires serious attention. Political. Political interference in the operations of the government institution within the power sector has caused incalculable damage to the sector. Legislative. The National Assembly developed the National Power Sector Reform Act of 2005 that prescribed and guided the privatization of the Nigerian power sector. Events within the sector point to either a failure in the design or implementation of the Power Sector Reform Bill. Either of these possibilities implies a need for capacity in the National Assembly for power sector oversight, both in terms of capacity to develop or review the Reform Bill or capacity to monitor and evaluate performance of the power sector concerning the implementation of the Power Sector Reform Act. The legislature should at all times strive to provide an enabling environment by removing all procedural, physical, bureaucratic bottlenecks in the way of private sector participation in the power sector. Environmental. Of course, serious issues of right-of-way and the general hostility from most communities have impacted negatively on the power installations. From the foregoing, it is important to note that a workable solution must be holistic and should take into account these broad challenges. Successive governments, including the current government, have tried to provide adequate and stable electricity to Nigerians with little or no success. We are here today not to buck past, but to find solutions to the electricity challenges in our country. We must find solutions that will help our President, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, to deliver on his promise of adequate and stable power supply to Nigerians. I wish to thank you, Mr. President, and thank you all.